everybody, welcome back to another episode of Life of Kay. I'm Kay. Continuing on with my vlog series here. Okay, yeah, so this is going to be vlog number 6. So with this vlog, I'm really just kind of, I guess, piggybacking off the last vlog I did, which was finding love during coronavirus, where I talked about the different platforms that I use and that are available out there for those who are looking for a mate, looking for a spouse. Again, we know with COVID, it's been really hard to meet people. A lot of the places that people normally go to meet someone are closed or at reduced capacity. And again, even us as Muslims have been affected. Our houses of worship are closed, or our houses of worship are not open the way they were at one time. And they most certainly are not, even the ones that are open are not hosting events like they used to because of COVID. So it really has limited our choices in terms of finding a platform or a place where we could possibly meet someone, those of us who are single and are looking for spouses. So in my last vlog, I did go into some of the apps that I use and have used and using to find a spouse. And the 3 that I think I talked about were Moose Match, Salams, and Pure Matrimony. So if you want to know more about those 3 Muslim matrimonial apps, please go back and watch vlog 5, where I really go more in depth into it and go into detail about each of those apps, pros and cons of each one, and what they offer. So I'm kind of in a way continuing with that with vlog 6, and the reason why I call it ghosting and what's the deal with ghosting is that when you are on these online services, these matrimonial sites, these matrimonial apps, ghosting definitely seems to be a thing. Like, it's really, I feel, problematic, and it's something that really gets under my skin and really bothers me. It always has, and I've been on these type of platforms on and off. I would say, I'm doing the math in my head quickly, like 13, 14 years, give or take. Not consistently, obviously, and not consecutively, because I was obviously married twice during this time. So off and on for the past, let's say, 13 years. So I really got to watch a lot of these online platforms grow and change and evolve to what they are today. Again, I went into my last vlog how they used to be when I first started going on these online platforms, these matrimonial sites. A long time ago, there were no apps available back then. It all was on a website, and now today there's apps. They've really come a long way in terms of technology and making it more user-friendly and making it more easily accessible, because you can just use your phone now. With that said, yeah, ghosting it's just something, I get it. I mean, I know it comes along with talking and meeting people on an app or on a website, but it just bothers me so much, and it really gets under my skin, and I would love for someone to please explain to me why. Why ghost? Why do people ghost? Like, it's just this phenomenon that I just can't get past it. And it's just, I find it so infuriating and so frustrating that I just had to devote just a video strictly to ghosting, because it just seems like it's such a thing, and it's just really annoying. Like, okay, so maybe I should go into first and define what I mean when I say ghosting, for those of you who maybe are not familiar with it. Ghosting usually refers to when someone that you are talking to, having a conversation with, having a dialogue with, or whatever, and they suddenly just stop. They stop without explanation. They stop without warning. And then you can't get in contact with that person anymore. That's usually what I mean by ghosting. It happens in the dating world. It happens, you know, in any kind of, when you're having a relationship with someone, you're talking to someone, and then again, the person basically ceases all communication. Whether it be via text, phone, email, they just stop all communication, and usually you cannot reach them through any of those platforms anymore. They just ghost. They disappear, never to be seen or heard from ever again. That's ghosting, and it's obviously very common in the world of social media and things like that. And it's super common in the Muslim matrimonial website / app world. It's happened to me a million times. It continues to happen. I just find it so annoying, because it's like, you could be having a conversation with someone, and to you, you're thinking the conversation or the dialogue is going pretty good. Then the person just disappears. They ghost you. And I guess the most frustrating part about being ghosted is that you never have the answer why. Like, your first question is always going to be, well, why? Like, was something I said? Was something I did? Like, you just never... I guess what makes it so annoying and so inconsiderate to do to someone, because the person is always left wondering. They're always left wondering, what happened? Why did you ghost? Why did you suddenly drop off the face of the earth and cease to exist? You know, like, there's never an explanation following it. It's just, poof, they disappear, never to be heard from again, and you never know why. And I think that's probably the most frustrating part about being ghosted, because you never have the answer to that question. The person doesn't respond to your communication, whether it be text, whether you be trying to call the person, whether you try to email the person literally just ceases all communication. So you're always left wondering why. You always had that question as to what happened. Why did this happen? Why did this person choose to ghost me? You can have theories, you can have ideas. Of course, I've always had theories and ideas, but you never hear it from the person who ghosted. So I just find that so infuriating and so frustrating. And I'm sure there's other people out there who probably have experienced something similar. And by the way, if you have, I would really appreciate it if you would leave maybe your ghost story in the comments below, because it has happened to me so many times. So I'll share with you my most recent ghost story. What happened to me, this was back over the summer. So I did meet someone on one of the Muslim matrimonial sites, and started talking to him. Things were going good. We had an exchange. So again, this site, like the others I mentioned on my last vlog, it allows you to basically use their system to communicate. They have their own messaging system, so you can send messages through their site, you know, as long as you would like that to last. So what we did, so we exchanged messages, we were talking on the side, getting to know each other, asking each other questions, feeling each other out. Sounded great. I mean, we seemed to have a lot in common. The conversation was going really, really well. So then from there, I decided, okay, let me get my wali involved. So I got my wali involved. And again, if you're Muslim, you know what I mean when I say wali. It's like basically my male representative in Islam. We have to have, as women, we have to have that male representative, usually a father or some other male relative, to represent you. He's the one who is supposed to have your best interest and really talk to the person and things like that. So I got my wali involved. My wali spoke to him. I got the brother's phone number. He called my wali. My wali spoke with him. I spoke to my wali about him. I'm like, so what do you think? Like, so far? He was like, yeah, like he seems like a really nice brother. Like, he seems really good. I love his vibe. You know, they really had a great conversation. So I'm like, okay, this is positive. This is all good stuff, you know? And we continued it from there. Like, we had started with my wali. We had started talking, exchanging messages, this time outside of the platform, once we found out the preliminary stuff. And my wali spoke with him on the phone and things like that. We moved outside of the app of the matrimonial site, and we were, you know, we exchanged actually our personal numbers, and we were talking and exchanging messages and things like that, really getting to know each other. Things were going fantastic. We had tons in common. Upon talking to him, come to find out we had similar childhoods in terms of how we grew up, even where we grew up. He was actually come to find out he was actually from the same neighborhood I was. Even though our paths had never crossed before, it turns out we had grown up in the same area, and we had very similar childhood experiences. So it was refreshing. Like, that alone was refreshing. He was the first person that I have ever talked to where I felt such a deep connection, and where even our childhoods were similar, and we had so much in common in terms of how we grew up and where we were raised. Like, I've never had anyone had that, not even my exes had that in common with me. So that was so refreshing to be able to talk with someone like that. And he was very understanding, very honest, very open, very forthcoming. You know, he was also a divorcee. He was also a dad. So again, we had that in common, which was great. it was just so much. Like, I mean, when I said the conversations were great, the conversations were so positive and fruitful, and we had a lot. He talked to my Wally regularly. He was in regular contact with him. My Wally was very impressed with what he had to say. He didn't see any red flags, because that's something that we both were watching out for. So far, he was like, I'm not really seeing the red flag. So far, I'm getting a positive vibe from him. So let's see how this goes. We saw how it goes. It had gotten serious to the point where we really were starting to head down the road of talking about marriage. Like, we were like, okay, look, I'm not really interested in anybody else. He said he wasn't interested in anybody else. He pretty much made up his mind that he wanted to proceed further with me. I had made the same choice. We actually met in person. He drove here to New York. We got a chance to meet face to face in person. My Wally was there. I mean, it was a great visit. It went really, really well. Everything seemed to really be falling into place. And then, again, after he came to New York to see me, we continued the conversation. We both were like, hey, how'd you think? How'd the visit go to you? Well, did it meet your expectations? He said he was very satisfied. It met his expectations. He had a positive feeling. He was very happy and excited moving forward. I felt the same way, and I shared it with him as well. And the next thing I knew, so the next plan we made was for him to say, okay, since things are going so great, the next logical step would be to, okay, maybe we should meet parents. I meet your parents, you meet my parents, so we can just take it to the next level. He agreed to that. He's like, okay, yeah, I'm like, okay, so you can meet my parents, so they can see you. My parents didn't know, they were made aware of what was going on. So, yeah, he's like, yeah, we can arrange that. Now, his parents were divorced, so in his case, I would have to meet, his mom and then his dad separately, because they were not together. And didn't even live in the same state. I'm like, okay, great. So we'll make a date so that you can come here and meet my parents. I mean, that's the next logical step. So he's like, cool. And then, the next thing you know, he ghosted. Like, I did not hear from him again. Again, we were talking daily. Literally. Like, every day. Daily conversations we were having. And the crazy thing is, the last conversation I had with him, I kept doing regular check-ins with him because I was trying to avoid this very thing from the very beginning. Literally. I'm like, I know how men are. Yeah, so literally the last conversation I had with him, again, knowing how men are, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be smart about it this time. I'm going to make sure I am proactive. I'm going to do regular check-ins with him to make sure he's still feeling the same way. So every time I would speak to him, I'm like, okay, so are you still on board? Do you still feel the same way? Are you sure you want to go through with this? Are you still going to move forward with this? I literally told him at any time, if you feel like you're changing your mind, if you feel like you've been second thoughts, if you feel like you made me like, you know what, I thought I was ready to get remarried, but it turns out I'm not. I'm not quite where I want to be, or I'm not quite ready to get married. Okay, no hard feelings. Assalamu alaikum, you go your way, I go my way. That's like we're both adults. It's not a problem. All I ask is that you communicate that with me. And I literally told him, please don't ghost. Don't just fall off the face of the earth. If you're having any feelings or second thoughts or whatever the issue may be, all I'm asking is please have the courtesy of just letting me know. Tell me whatever it is. Not a problem. I'll understand. I'm a big girl. We're adults. Whatever. I'm not gonna lie, I'll be disappointed, but okay, I'll respect that. If you feel like you're not ready, or you change your mind for any reason, I'm cool with that. Oh, yeah, of course, sister, no, I would. Literally the day before, this is the conversation I had with him. I said, are you sure you want to go through with this? Are you sure you want to move forward with this? Like, please let me know now. Don't just ghost. Yes, I'm 100. So why the next day, I sent him a message, just, typical, but it's like, oh, how are you? How's your day so far? That kind of thing. He sent a message. He mentioned going to meet with another brother because there's a business he was trying to get together with another brother where he lived, and they're trying to do a business deal together. So he mentioned, like, I'm going to meet with the brother I was telling you about before at this business deal. Let's see if I can get this off the ground. That was the message he sent me. And honestly, that was the last message he sent me. That was the last I heard from him. So I'm like, okay, great. Let me know how it goes. So I don't hear from him for a few hours. I'm like, okay, I wonder how that business deal with the brother, how that went. So I'm like, hey, so how's it going? What do you guys talk about? Did you guys get to decide on the business? Didn't respond. Like, okay, maybe he's busy. Send a message after message after message, no response. I'm thinking, okay, this is weird because he always would respond. Tried calling, doesn't answer the phone. That was very unusual because even if he didn't respond to the message, like a text, he always would pick up the phone if I called. So that was strange. I'm like, okay, maybe he just got caught up. Maybe he was busy in something. A day goes by, still no response. That's when I knew there was something up. He never went a whole day before without saying something. So that's when I knew something's up. Now it's going to the next day and I'm still not hearing anything from him. No check-in, no hey, nothing. So that's when I knew, oh boy. Please don't tell me he decided to do this. Like, not after I literally had the conversation with him the day before, letting him know, like, I literally gave him an out. Like, you know, you show someone the door, like, I'm not standing in front of the door, I'm not blocking your way. There it is. You can walk through it. Just show me the courtesy of telling me you're gonna walk through it first. That's all I ask. So it wasn't like I was pressuring him to marry me. I wasn't pressuring him to go through anything that he didn't feel comfortable doing. I'm like, hey, look, I'm okay. Like, at any time if you want to bail, if at any time you want to call it quits, I'm cool with that. All I ask is for the courtesy of telling me first. That's it. And I didn't hear from him. So then I'm like, so I called my Wally. I'm like, look, I told him what happened. I told him about the last time it took place. I told him what the last message that I received from him. I was like, I still haven't heard from him. I think something's up. So he's like, you know what? Let me give him a call and see what's going on. Maybe he'll answer for me. My Wally calls, doesn't answer. So that's why I knew something was up, because obviously if the Wali of the woman that you're talking to for the purpose of marriage calls you, you're going to answer your phone. He refuses. He does not answer for him either. He tried twice. He did not answer for him. So he was like, I don't know what to tell you. He was like, this is strange. I don't get it either. Like, things were going so well. I thought things were going great. I said, they're going great too. I'm just as confused as you are. I'm lost right now too. The brother ghosted. To this day, I haven't heard back from him. To this day. And that was back in the summer. That was like June. So that's my ghost story. Like, I just don't, like, it was just so confusing. I mean, I was disappointed, of course, because again, it seemed like things were going really well and we had such great conversation. There was a real connection there, which had made it all the more strange that he would choose to ghost me instead of just expressing whatever he was feeling at the time. I will probably never know what his reasonings were for deciding to literally just cease all communication. But again, I just don't understand why not be a man and have the balls. Just say it. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're a man at the end of the day. You should have the balls to say whatever it is you feel. Look, sister, I changed my mind. Look, sister, I'm getting back at my ex. I don't know. You know, that happens. Look, sister, I thought I was ready to move forward and get remarried. I'm not. Or whatever the case may be. But say it, voice it, communicate it, express it. Especially since literally the last conversation that I had with him was to do just that. And I literally said, please don't ghost. Like, whatever you do, please don't just, like, drop off the face of the earth. Whatever your decision is, just at least let me know. And he literally did the exact opposite of what I asked him to do. And that was what was the most annoying and got me the most upset, was the fact that he literally did the exact opposite of what I asked him to do. Like, I gave you an out. If you were having doubts, that was your opportunity to say, you know something, now that you mention it, and you could have gone on with the explanation there. But he didn't. So that's my ghost story. And I'm sorry to say I have a lot of those because it happens a lot. I don't know if it happens to anybody else out there, but it's happened to me a lot. And I can't explain it. So maybe someone out there can explain it, like why. And again, I'm talking about men because that's obviously my experience. Why do men do this? Why do you guys ghost instead of just saying what you need to say and moving on? We're all adults, you know, like, especially if you get to the point where you're making plans. Like, we were literally talking about marriage. We were literally getting to the point where we were talking about dowry, you know, like, to get to that level, to get to that point and then decide to ghost. I don't know. It's strange. It blows my mind still to this day. Why did the men ghost? And again, just the blatant disregard for other people's feelings, I think, and the disrespect. I think at the end of the day that was disrespectful, because why would you do something like that? I didn't disrespect you, so why are you disrespecting me? Disrespecting my Wally also. Like, he's trying to get in contact with you and you're choosing to ignore him as well. Our thought maybe, okay, maybe whatever it is you don't feel comfortable talking to me about, but maybe another guy you feel more comfortable talking to about it. And I guess that's not the case either. Like, you chose to ignore all of us. And that was just wrong. It was so wrong and so messed up. Like, and cowardly. I think cowardly is the word I would use. Like, that's not kind of a coward's way out. Because whatever it is, all you had to do was say so. Like, okay, we understood. It was like, okay, brother, wish you the best. On to the next. You know, like, to just ghost and literally not answer your phone and no answering texts and not even an email. Like, that's really a coward's way of handling a situation. And like, you really lose, it makes me lose respect for you, not only as a Muslim, but I gotta lose respect for you as a man too. Like, what kind of man does that? Like, that's pathetic. Like, what man would handle a situation like that? Like, that's like, I have to question your manhood now. I really will have to question your manhood. That's not a man. Like, I don't know what that is. So, I don't know. I don't know if anyone else has a similar experience. If you do, I will appreciate if you would share that with me in the comments. But what is the deal with ghosting? Why do men run or ghost? I don't get it. I guess another recent experience. This one is not as dramatic as that one because it was just a few message exchange. Again, the brother seemed really nice. And it's funny because in both cases, they came to me. Like, I didn't go to them. They came to me. It wasn't like I responded through their profile or their ad. They responded to mine. So they came to me and mentioned me and, you know, they initiated the communication. So I think it's funny how they initiated it and they came to me and then they didn't want to ghost. Like, I don't, you know, it wasn't like I was chasing after anybody. Again, talking to a brother. Okay, so he was interested. Again, he came to me. And exchanged a few messages, and then that was the end of that. Like, okay. And it was like literally in the middle of a conversation. Like, okay, you sound like a and then suddenly he stopped responding to my messages. Like, what? Like, literally just stopped responding. Nothing. Like, just refused to respond. And the crazy thing is, with these sites, you can see when a person online. So it's like, I can see you're still there. Like, I know you're logged in. Like, you're still online. So that means you're deliberately ignoring me. And you're deliberately not answering my messages. Like, what is that? Like, who does that? Why would you do that? Instead of just being honest, like, oh, you know, sorry, sister, you know, no disrespect. I think you're great, but, you know, I think I'm, you know, there's another sister I'm talking to. I think I'm gonna go with her, or, you know, I don't think that we really have enough in common, so I'm good. Something. Like, all I'm saying is, say it, communicate, whatever the issue is. To leave it like that, and to ghost someone, I think is the ultimate disrespect that you could possibly do to someone. It really is. I think that's one of the drawbacks of using these platforms, of using these apps and websites, because people behind a computer or behind a phone, like, they could do things and treat people a certain way that they never could do if they were face to face with someone, you know? Like, they can do stuff like that. You know that if you were in the same room with me, you couldn't just get up and walk out, obviously, you know? But if you're behind a laptop, or behind a phone, or behind a tablet, you can do stuff like that. You can treat anybody how you want because you're like, okay, there's no consequences. You know, I can just ignore them, I can block them, or delete them, or whatever the case may be, and, you know, on to the next. Like, wow, this is what we've come to? This is how we treat each other? Especially as Muslims. That's how we treat one another? It's just so wrong on so many levels that I just had to speak about that real quick. Because it is related to my last vlog that I did about the matrimonial sites, and this is just something that I've encountered time and time again, and it's really frustrating. It's disrespectful, and at the end of the day, it's unnecessary. We're all adults. We all can speak and communicate. All we have to do is just say, listen, I'm not interested in you anymore. Listen, it's been great, but I think I'm gonna move on. So easy, so simple when you think about it, but for some reason it's something that people refuse to do or are afraid of doing, or I don't know what the reasoning is, but for whatever reason, to them, ghosting is a better option than actually saying what it is they're feeling. So I just wanted to come and speak on that real quick because it's just driving me insane. It continues to happen. Like I said, it happened to me as recently as this week. Even though, again, it wasn't as dramatic as the one that happened back in the summer because we didn't make it that far. It was just, we were still using the app and we were texting and having conversation, but he literally stopped mid-conversation and ghosted. And just, you know, like, so, I don't know. That's crazy. Like, why? Like, just say, I'm going to move on to somebody else. to just not respond, and I can clearly see you're online and you're getting my messages, but you're just choosing not to respond to it. It's disrespectful. And I would have to say un-Islamic as well. Like, we don't treat each other that way. And again, I have to question their manhood. I'm sorry, I have to question your manhood, because a real man would not be. Okay, so I will be keeping you guys updated on this crazy journey. That's one of the reasons why I started this vlog. I'll let you know periodically how it's going so far. Like I said in my last vlog, I will be honest, I'm not on it as consistently as I probably should have with these apps. I guess for me, it just gets to be too much after a while. Like, again, the ghosting, and then with the ghosting, and then if you don't have that, then you have all the other weird, crazy messages that you get from people who you have absolutely no interest in, and just like bombard your inbox with crazy stuff. So it can be a bit much, and it can be overwhelming at times. So I do take frequent breaks from even going onto these apps and these websites. I think it just gets to be too much after a while. I am trying to be more consistent with it though. And obviously I will keep you guys abreast and updated with how it's going so far with this journey of trying to find a spouse, again, with this limitations that are on us right now because of COVID. Not being able to really go out and meet anybody. So I do have to rely on these apps for the time being. And I will definitely keep you guys abreast of how it's going. But it's crazy. It's a crazy world we're living in, I have to say. Definitely looking forward to 2020 ending. And I'm hoping that 2021 will bring some more positive things. Let's see. I hope. I'm hoping anyway. So I'm going to end it here with my ghosting episode. And I just shared my ghost story with you. And if anybody has any ghost stories that they would like to share, please drop it in the comments below. Share your ghost story if you have a ghost story to share. I would love to hear about your experience with these online dating or these online matrimonial services. I would love to hear your ghost stories. So please share your ghost stories in the comments. I would love to hear them. And maybe if I get enough of them, I can actually do a video where I can share other people's ghost stories and their experiences with this online dating and matrimonial services. So that would be actually a cool thing to do if I get enough response for this. In the meantime, though, continue to watch my vlogs series and stay tuned for more content coming your way in 2021. I look forward to seeing you all in 2021. Please continue watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And please make sure you share this and my other videos with people you know and on all your social media platforms. Until next time, see ya.